Thank you so much. Good evening, Africa lovers. My name is Inez van Oord, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Fiber Foods. It was 2020 when I lived in Uganda with my family. It was there where I met Ineke Aquarius, who later became co-founder of Fiber Foods. The two of us wanted to make a big change for women in East Africa. We started in Uganda, where we both lived for 5 years. In order to really make it possible for women to generate a significant income, we thought that we should tap into a crop where men not yet were involved in. So no coffee, no cocoa, no vanilla, but it became jackfruit, a crop that was literally growing everywhere in Uganda, with such an abundance that it was going to waste everywhere. Kids would eat it, pigs would eat it, but 80% nothing was done with that. Even worse, farmers already started to cut down their trees because they did not see the benefit financially, which was a shame because the jackfruit tree provides a lot of shade for all the crops below. At the same time, in San Francisco, they started to eat these buns with pulled pork jackfruit style snack. And we thought, hey, if these hipsters think this is so interesting, maybe we should start to develop a value chain in dried jackfruit. And that's what we did. So we started first to select 1,000 farmers, and we realized that creating work for them was not all that complicated, because the jackfruit tree doesn't need any extra water, it didn't request any work, which made it a lot easier. But we knew from the beginning that we wanted to ensure that the value was added near where the sourcing took place. So we wanted to dry near where the jackfruit grows. So we looked out for a vanilla producer. This vanilla producer was very successful, also sourcing, for instance, for Dr. Utker, and they worked with so many farmers that actually could only make money twice a year. So for us, it was a no-brainer that we should start to offer them the opportunity to also start sourcing jackfruit, and so we did. Besides that, their state-of-the-art dryers were only used twice a year. With us coming in, we could also provide much more work for all the workers there. Well, this is our dried product, the jackfruit, and from 2022, we really started to generate some traction on the market. Initially, this was pure traction focused on the alt protein world, so we were focusing on vegetarian meat products, but also hybrid products, of which I will tell you more later. But interestingly enough, more and more organizations start to understand that we need more fibers. We eat so much protein. We have plenty of it in our bodies. But 95% of the world population is not eating enough fibers, which really leads to diabetes, colon cancer, and more of these modern diseases, so to say. The fiber within jackfruit turns out to be very special. We just had it researched by TNO, which made us quite happy because it has very high prebiotic, probiotic purposes. And we believe that this could be a game changer. So in 2022, the first container started to reach in the Rotterdam harbor. And initially we thought, vegetarian product, that's the way to go. Let's use jackfruit for that purpose. But I think you are all aware that that market is actually not growing at all. It's staggering. And we want to really have a big impact and create less meat eaters. And how we do that is basically by now working together with meat companies. In the beginning, they were laughing at us, but nowadays they are obliged to start to sell less meat. And our jackfruit has a very meaty structure. It soaks up all the flavors of the spices where the meat is produced in. So take out just 30% of your meat from a burger or your chicken or whatever you can think of, a salmon burger, and replace it by our jackfruit. Honestly, for many producers, I believe, the reason that they want to work with this is that it definitely reduces their price, but we are very happy that it creates a less footprint. We are a social enterprise, and that is proven best by the fact that we build our own food chain from scratch, meaning that all our farmers get fair wages. The good thing of owning it yourself is that you can ensure that all of this is happening. We are very proud, besides that the footprint of our jackfruit, all the way from Uganda and Kenya, is actually lower than all the ingredients that are currently used in the plant-based domain. Why? Because we use, for instance, the power from the Nile. And other than that, it's a tree that's already there. So the footprint is only 340 grams per kilo, which is quite unique. Well, these stories are all well and nice, but at the end of the day, it's all about market. And we are proud that McDonald's nowadays decided to put our jackfruit in their typical Dutch McCroket. And I would like to state that this is only possible, all of this, because of organizations that believe in you from the beginning, like Invest International. I want to thank you for your attention, and I would love to have a drink later with the investors here in the room and discuss further how we jointly can help to grow ingredients from Africa to Europe. Thank you so much. Was I that long? Oh, sorry.